Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Lorna's story. We're going to pick up right where we left off as you are walking into the Arcanium's library. You and your team are all here. So let's go ahead and place you. Holy smokes, you're huge. Okay, let
I'm
me
big,
fix that real quick.
big girl.
Okay, calm down.
Yes.
Calm down. There we go. Reasonable size. So, we pull all of you in here. As you enter the Arcanium's library, as always, it is enormous. It is full of tomes and scrolls that line shelves that reach farther than the eyes can see in all directions. Each shelf is well over 15 feet high, and above them you see are steepled more shelves on landings that you can climb up to using ladders that are on rollers all throughout the Arcanium. In the middle of the Arcanium's central area, you see there are various tables set up for people to work at or study at. There is a constant breeze passing in and out of the area that gives a cool air and the scent of parchment and books thick on the air. Lorna, as you enter the Arcanium, it is quiet in here. Quiet and as empty as you've ever seen it. What do you do?
So it's just us. Do I see any trace of Hushen hanging around?
Roll a perception.
Okay. 17.
No, you do not see any sign of the enormous black and red fox. But you recall last time he didn't show
I had
up
to ask.
unless you asked for a librarian.
Yes. So Lorna would look back at her team and say, well, I do know research is easier here when you have the assistance of the librarian. I do remind you that there is a history there, so there might be a conversation.
Everyone kind of looks between each other, and Thierry looks at you and he says, "You all sure about this, right?" Like,
No, it's all taken care of, really. She'll turn away before he can talk her out of something stupid, and look out amongst the shelves and just call out, "I'd like the assistance of the librarian, please."
there is a definable, tangible tension in the air and the smell of sulfur that suddenly just lingers at the edge of your senses when you hear, perhaps a little too quietly, much quieter than you'd expect for a creature of his size, the pads of an enormous fox making their way across the tops of the bookshelves until finally, peering over the nearest shelf stack next to you, is Hushen, the librarian. As he looks down at you and your group, you hear in your mind, "You require assistance."
I do. It's nice to see you again, Hushen.
Do not waste my time with deceptions.
Lorna will look at her team. Is he speaking exclusively to her? Have they responded to his voice?
None of them seem to be aware. I would say Thierry knows what's happening because he's been in this before. The rest of your party are all just kind of looking up at this enormous devil fox. No one seems to know what to do, and Loeth says,
Right.
Hi.
Yeah, she'll turn to her group fully now and say, if you have a specific request that you're looking for, I would recommend letting him know.
Okay. Do you have any books on the road?
The road?
That's what she says.
Lorna quirks her brow but doesn't say anything.
Hushen doesn't move, but you see several tomes suddenly drift into view. They, at a glance, two of them are very thin. They look more like almanacs, the sort of thing that you'd find almost off like a newsstand. And one of the tomes looks encyclopedic. And they are floating in the air in front of Lilith. Oh. Thanks. You don't hear a reply, which means it was likely in Lilith's head.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really that easy?
That's right.
Okay, do you have anything on False Hydra?
Do the other team members react to that?
Yeah.
Because we haven't talked about it really with the team that Lorna is aware of.
Oh, yeah. Norre, like, looks over completely surprised. Skolna doesn't react. Tier, like...
Does it seem like she knows, or she doesn't care? Like, does she not know what a false hydra is, or does she, like, that's not my problem?
Insight check.
Okay. 19.
It's not her problem.
Okay. It might be someday, but not right now.
Yeah. Tier, like, his eyebrows raise, and he says, "It's Hydra, really? Foul." And Anscombe just nods, as several large tomes appear floating towards Anscombe. Is there... Like, if I can't find what I need here, do I just ask for something else?
Lorna nods, but she assumes that Hushen will tell him.
Like, it's clear Anscombe's listening to something. And then he says, Can I think at you? Okay. And then he goes to one of the tables. Skolna doesn't say anything. She just is standing next to you and waiting. Tier is, like, scratching his chin. And he says, "What do you know... Sorry, do you have any tomes about the Blood Boil curse?" Two large tomes appear in front of Tier. Right. Thank you. And he goes to one of the tables. And Norre and Skolna stand next to you. Norre says, "I think I'd just like to help you for now, if that's fine."
Sure. I know you had specific questions about a mountain range.
This is weirding me out.
Well, okay. We'll see if you want to pursue your own research in a minute. And she'll look at Skolna and just kind of quirk her brow.
Skolna just looks at you.
Do you want me to ask for you?
She shakes her head.
All right, then. Lorna will look back up at Hushen. And out of all of the things that she has jotted down that she wants to research, I think she's going to go with the lowest stakes one first. Just the simplest, least problem-causy one. And she'll look up and think to Hushen, "Do you have any information about a man named Gabriel Frost?"
Roll me a D100.
Okay. She promised Anscombe like a year ago, 79, that she would look into this guy for him.
You see a single tome suddenly floats ahead. A man of small impact, it appears.
Maybe to some. She'll take it and she's like, should I wait to ask for more? She'll just shake her head. She wasn't specifically asking Hushen, she was just mulling that over herself and sit down.
So, as you open this tome, what do you already know about Gabriel Frost?
She knows that he's related to Anscombe, and if he is a Frost specifically, and Anscombe said that his dad was an orc, she's assuming he is likely of the similar lineage. He was a mage with inherent magic. He lived in Ceres, and he seemed to die in battle for the sake of others. Like he saved a town or something like that. That's all she knows.
Okay. What you find is a war record. This tome that you found is a ledger of various, basically the sort of messages that are sent out to next of kin for loss of soldiers in battle. You find records for Frost, Gabriel. He served not with the Ceresian Royal Army, but with the Red Ledger, a military mercenary organization that basically lended their blades to the highest bidder. He was in charge of a battalion of hobgoblins and orcs, a monstrous regiment. The sort of regiment that handles dirty tasks and also ones that are thought to be too dangerous for typical humankind or other likewise when public eye is considered.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it was his regiment that handled an incursion of monstrous creatures known as the Sorrowsworn.
Okay.
He gave his life, along with most of his battalion, gave their lives fighting off monsters known as Lonelies. Creatures that would bind a person to them with hooks and chains until they died. Basically an epitome of the emotion, loneliness. They would do anything they could to fight it, and in this case, the battalion fought these monsters off, saving a town known as Black Powder.
Oh shit. Does Lorna know what black powder is?
Roll a history check.
And also, what year does this say that it was?
Let's see. 6992. Or 5992,
right,
sorry.
that's
It's not the
way ahead.
future.
That's the future. 59. That's 8 years, 80 years ago? Wait, that couldn't be right.
Why?
Because the War of the Dead was 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm. These were not
So we
undead.
could-
These were Sorrowsworn.
That's true. Oh, she assumed that he died in the War of the Dead. Post-War of the Dead. Okay. You said, sorry, history check for
Black Powder.
Black Powder. Gotcha. 18.
Yeah, you know about Black Powder. You know that it is one of the largest exporters of smokeless explosive powder in the world. It is a town so named for the fact that it is famous for black powder. The mines nearby where they collect saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal are famous for being volatile. And the town itself has been burned down and rebuilt dozens of times. None of the buildings are old in any way. That being said, the town itself is sturdy, and it's one of the reasons it still exists where it is its vantage point over the immediate areas around it make it very hard to assault. Black Powder is famous for fighting off hordes of both undead, Sorrowsworn, goblins, devils, orcs. Almost any sort of adversary has wanted to claim the value of black powder and the smokeless powder that it creates, but have all failed. And part of that is the people of Black Powder's natural hardiness, and also their willingness to spend coin on mercenaries like the Red Ledger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lorna nods, satisfied with this information. She figured, whatever she could dig up, it wasn't gonna be too life-changing, but she is glad that she did this for Anscombe because he wanted to know. So she will look back up at Hushen and say, I'm done with this book. Thank you. And offer
only
it out.
studied it for 30 minutes.
That's all I needed.
Fair enough. And he takes the book back, and it vanishes off into the distance.
How about Nightwalkers? More specifically, one named Lorix.
Spell it.
Lorux, she says, uncertain.
Roll me an intelligence check.
I've never seen it written down. Intelligence. Okay, I have to roll it on. 1 second. 7.
Sounds right to you.
She shrugged. He was a Nightwalker, Titan's Pace Canyon. I have a gear if it helps.
It would help.
Hold on. Timeline. $55.11.
Roll me a D100.
Okay. So I'm sure I spelled it wrong, but at least the location helps. 17.
It takes a while. Slowly, books begin to flit into view. Some of them much smaller than other ones. Some of them are scrolls of old news sheets. Some of them are just bits of paper that look like they were torn out of other books. But finally, you get a stack of materials in front of you. This is what I could find.
Thank you. She'll, before she digs into them, she's just gonna insight check Hushen. Like, how's he feeling?
Do you need to? All right, go ahead.
I'm not in danger, right? 18. I don't know why I rolled twice. The first roll was an 18.
Hushen looks resigned. He looks irritated, but
this is his job and he can't do anything about it.
I will say with an 18, he looks a little impatient, like he's waiting for you to do something wrong.
Like finding an excuse to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's not gonna. She's gonna play nice because she knows she has the upper hand, and there's no reason to antagonize him because that would only cause her problems, like not being able to access the information in the Arcanium. So she's not going to address the elephant in the room of their deal, or that it's broken, or that she went to his boss to like report him, or anything like that. Okay. And she's got like the blatant red hair now of like a pact with Vicar, which I'm sure Hushen recognizes, which is funny to me.
That's the point of the mark.
Yep.
Okay.
Love it. So yeah, she just shrugs and gets right into her research.
Okay. Lorix. You find his name is actually spelled Loureks.
Loureks. Lorix. Oh, not Lorix. Gotcha.
Lorix was and is, as by all reports, he's still alive. Though contained within the negative energy planes. He's part of a pact of nightshades. Details on that are slim. You find that a pact of nightshades is generally a group of monstrous creatures from the negative energy planes that work together to breach the veil between the prime material and the negative energy planes when they have the opportunity. Every time they are defeated or sent back to the negative energy planes, it's like a coven. These groups of nightshades are weakened, harmed, and enraged. As the only purpose they have when they go to the prime material, so it would seem, is to drain life, which is assumed to make them more powerful. There are some... What's the word I'm looking for? Theories that they have another purpose for coming to the prime material, as every time they always came to a place of conflux of ley lines. You recognize that there are notices of Nightwalkers seeming to appear more often near ley towers. Which roll a history.
You said ley towers?
Yes.
Okay. History. 18.
18. You've heard of a ley tower before, but you don't actually know what it is.
Okay. Oh, no.
That might be something you need to research. It's spelled Ley Tower.
Mm-hmm.
It is thought that a Nightwalker, when it appears near a ley tower, it seems to bolster itself in energy briefly as it comes into contact with the coal stone at the top of each. You can go ahead and roll a history for coal stone if you'd like.
Coal?
Kol stone.
Kol stone. Okay. You said history again?
Yeah. Or Arcana. I'd allow Arcana. It's your choice.
They're both the same. 25, I rolled a history.
You do know what a callstone is. A callstone is a pure crystal of Banasite that has been exposed to extreme magic, hardening it into a super crystalline form.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a diamond, but instead of made of carbon, it's made of Banasite. So you know what that is. These Nightwalkers, as they appeared in the prime material, they seemed to draw energy from these whenever they could, and it's almost in every case when they did appear, it was within 5 miles of one. Some instances repute that there were 3 Nightwalkers at once appearing, but Lorax was always one of them. They recognized him by the fact that he had a crown of horns that reached up into 5 points, which was unique amongst Nightwalkers.
Okay. Does Lorna remember from that memory of Lily's of her friend Sabbatha dying when that Nightwalker appeared? Was it Lorax?
Roll history. That's a specific detail you're trying to remember.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. 23.
It was not.
It was not Lorax who killed Sabbatha. Interesting. Huh. She's befuddled by that. Is there any more information? Or is that the gist?
That's most of it. You get other things you already know about Nightwalkers.
Mm-hmm. Like they're meanies.
Yeah.
Okay, well, she doesn't know what a ley tower is, so she'll look up at Hushen and say, information on ley towers?
Roll D100.
79 again.
Okay. This time a single tome. Which, do you speak Elven? Lorna?
Yes.
Do you speak?
I said, of course.
Okay. I didn't know for sure or
She's
not.
a half-elf.
Right. This tome, it is labeled in Elven, the tasks and burdens of the Rift Keepers. As you look through this book, you learn that ley towers are structures that are designed and created by a faction known as the Kranitos, which is literally ancient Elven for Rift Keeper. They were designed in such a way that they could monitor fluctuations in ley lines by having magical junctions around a coalstone at their peak. And in all cases, they appeared to be a lighthouse, except they never emitted light. The only thing they did emit was magic. They projected magic in such a way that the Kranitos could find them when there was a problem. So ley towers were made as monitoring devices by an ancient magic, basically, protection faction. You don't get a whole lot about what the Kranitos used them for, but you do learn that the Kranitos were pre-silence in the first years after the isolation. Magic ran rampant, and the Kranitos were responsible for preventing wild magic and chaotic magic from tearing the world apart. There were moments when, after the isolation, when certain individuals, such as great fiends and powerful demons, came into the world that they tried to unleash their brethren across the prime material, and it was the Kranitos that shut these rifts immediately. And so, as a measure to prevent more of that from happening, ley towers were constructed, and the Kranitos used them to monitor the ley lines around the globe.
So if they saw an influx of energy, they were like, shit.
Yes.
To go there and deal with it. Are they still in use today, or are they just relics of a time?
There are no records of a ley tower in current use. The Kranitos vanished before the silence. They are now just a piece of history. It is thought that the coalstones that are atop ley towers are worth fortunes, because they are basically the most pure form of a magical reagent you can find, and they are exceedingly rare.
And why haven't they been taken, or have they been taken?
Ley towers have been lost to time. They're difficult to find.
They can't be found anymore? Okay.
Some of them have been lost to the ocean. Some of them have been lost to history. People don't know where they are. The last noted location of a ley tower was on the Mount Banus, the site where the Red Tyrant fell. There was a ley line junction there where the Kranitos were monitoring.
Oh, well. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so she notes that. That could be worthy of looking into further. Because who wouldn't want one of those cold stones? Okay. She doesn't like that Lorex seems to still be alive, but if he is necessary in finding or putting Malcolm's soul to rest because of what Lorex the Nightwalker did to it, that's good to know, because he is findable. Presumably, he's just on the negative energy plane, and he could come back. That would be terrifying.
Yes, it would.
So she shuts the books that she was looking at and offers them back to Hushen.
They float away.
The next order of business she wants to look into is the Majere family.
Okay. Roll a D100.
Okay. 5.
You get one tome.
Oh.
The tome is small, and it appears to be the logs from a coast marshal. The Majere family, it seems, is reputed to be a well-known and powerful smuggling family. They have been criminals for a long time, it appears, only dodging the actual word of law by paying the right people at the right times. you remember the Megere's Cove, the smuggling cove off
Yes,
of
Tyr mentioned
Candinos.
it.
Yeah, that is apparently one of many smuggling locations that the Megere family has hosted. It is noted that their history is intertwined with the slip a lot.
Interesting.
The slip suddenly having gone quiet within the last few years, the Megere family, it looks as though their activity has slowed.
Okay. Does it say anything about specific family members? Probably not. At least not modern ones.
I'm afraid you rolled too poorly.
Aw.
You'd have to go, you'd have to spend some dedicated time searching.
Well, she specifically wants to know about. Actually, she would look up at who Shannon and say any records of a Captain Cutthroat.
Roll a D100. Excuse me.
84. Bless you.
Captain Cutthroat. Appearing before you on the table are various news sheets reporting piracy by one captain known as Captain Cutthroat. It seems as though over the last maybe 20 years, Captain Cutthroat has been running an absolute train across the Tormenting Channel. Trade routes that normally would be considered safe and open have been ravaged by the pirating vessels underneath Captain Cutthroat's command. He seems to usually captain a vessel known as the Red Prince. Captain Cutthroat's methods seem to be either you surrender your goods or he kills everybody on the boat. There's not really, according to records, there's not been any leniency in that policy. And really, when most people come across the Red Prince, they write off the trade voyage as a failure because they would rather live and give up their goods. In the cases of Captain Cutthroat's success rate is 100%.
Jeez.
No one knows how Captain Cutthroat gets the information that he has. It seems as though he knows exactly what trade routes merchant vessels are taking, and then ambushes them at the perfect times. Whether it be at dusk or dawn, the Red Prince and allied vessels surround the trade ship in question. If there are armed escorts, they are sunk before they even have an opportunity to respond, using magical fog that surrounds the boat, but the Red Prince and allies do not seem hindered by this fog at all.
Okay.
He has been, it has been argued that Captain Cutthroat was once a famous Tridonian naval admiral, which is why he has the grasp of tactics that he has, but no one knows who he actually was.
Oh. Except Lorna. Okay, I can see why Remus might have been afraid of him. And he seems to have the supernatural ability to exploit information. And that's weird. And no one knows how. Okay.
As you are thinking about that, you hear in your mind, I might have an inkling as to how.
You do?
What is
Would
it
you share
worth?
that with me?
What is it worth to you?
I imagine at least a favor.
I'll consider it.
What is it worth to you?
I am aware of your capabilities. Let me consider.
Okay, sure.
Consideration finished.
Oh. All right.
In 4 days hence, there will be a traveler arriving within August City. He has upset me. He goes by the name of Martin. Martin Solus. A human. Blonde hair, graying on the edges. You are to follow him, and when you have a moment, send his soul to me. For this favor, I will tell you what I know. Do you agree?
Would you share how he upset you?
He destroyed one of my previous patrons.
Someone like me.
Mm-hmm. A young one, an upstart. Consider it vengeance.
Well, if that had happened to me, I'd hope someone would take vengeance for me.
If you'll do this for me, I'll tell you now.
He's not a good person?
That should not be of consequence.
Or she doesn't respond, but inwardly she's like, it does matter to me, but I'll do it.
Lucan Magier employs one of my patrons.
Oh. And he utilizes the information that this patron receives to plan his attacks.
Correct.
Interesting.
It is a mutually beneficial agreement. Every so often, there are entire ships worth of lives devoted to me.
Wow. So if I wanted to get in contact with Lucan Magier, more so than just ascending can suffice. Should I make an arrangement with your patron?
It's not how this works. I cannot let you know exactly who a patron of mine is.
I see.
It's not that I don't trust you. It is policy.
Mine is Talise.
That is different. She was your introducer.
I see. That is interesting information. Thank you, Vicar.
You are welcome. I expect you hold your end of the bargain in 4 days.
Do you know which direction he'll be arriving from?
From the north, aboard the Silver Express.
The tram.
Correct.
Arriving north on the Silver Express. Do you have a time frame? Morning? Or should I go and ask?
Considering the rate he's moving at, I would expect him to arrive in the evening. It might be better to research the Silver Express's tram schedule, as I imagine they are quite regular about these things.
I understand. She'll shut the book on Captain Cutthroat.
I
And
imagine
think, am I the baddie?
there's no such thing. But I imagine Skolna might be useful in this instance for a quiet dampening of the spirit.
Yes. She'll glance at Skolna. What is Skolna and Nare doing? since I haven't expressly asked for books yet.
Skolna is like standing behind you with her arms crossed, and she has a dagger that she's just like spinning, balanced on one fingertip.
Is she focused on the surroundings? Who's Shen? Anything in
She's watching
particular?
Shen.
Is she? Yeah, she does know that Lorna has a history with this guy.
Nore is at the table, like across and diagonal from you, and she has parchment out on the table, and she is writing music.
Okay. Okay. Lorna will offer up the material that she was given on Captain Cutthroat and think, I know I've already looked into Remus Majer previously when I was here. Is there any more information you can offer?
As Hushen takes the books back. Only thing new, it appears, is a prison record.
I knew that already. That's fair. Fair enough. Alright. I doubt... Oh, I'm not going to doubt your ability to find information. The North Air family.
Roll a D100.
59.
One moment. Okay. Okay. You find some old records. 1 minute. Okay. Born Hale Turnworth. She was raised the daughter of a Copper Mask guild master within Shona. The truth of the work that she was witnessing was hidden from her. And she watched as her father, a... What did I write here? Hang on. I think I've lost it. Oh, it just scrolled. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Marcus Turnworth. Human.
Okay.
She watched as Marcus Turnworth manipulated and exploited everyone who visited Shona for years. Working with the Artificers, part of the Copper Mask in Shona, and coined the phrase, with the right leverage, man can move mountains. Information is leverage. She departed ways from the Copper Mask when she reached adulthood. Started up her own business. The one you know of. Colloquially known on the street as The Road.
Oh. Okay.
It was famous for being a smuggling operation, but also more famous for being an arms dealing operation across Ceres. But not to Ceresians. It was a criminal organization famous for supplying rebels, disloyals, and malcontents within Ceres who were upset at the Erevan royal line and the decisions that they've made. The Road was famous for being a supplier for those who would go against Ceres' beliefs and set up many of their envoys and manufacturing stations within the Impasse, the mountain range famous for being home to Dwergar and mountain dwarves.
Okay.
The road made its name as being famous arms dealers, but also being information traders across the ocean. They had ties to the Copper Mask, but nothing pleasant. They made deals when they had to, but otherwise they were seen as competition. And that's one of the reasons why the Copper Mask never managed to make a real foothold within Ceres, is the road would shut them down, knowing how the Copper Mask worked.
Right. Insider information.
That's what you get.
And Lorna knows that Lilith was specifically looking up the road, so she might as well let Lilith tackle that. She'll presumably find more information about that. And that's all that... Can she skim the book? Is that the last kind of note of Hale specifically?
There's really not a lot about personal Hale. Aside from who she was as a little girl and growing up in Shona as part of the Copper Mask. That's what's there. You don't really find
anything about Marcus Turnworth still being alive?
He's not.
Is there any information on how he died?
No.
Just old age? I guess Lorna could look up at Hushen and ask.
Okay.
Is any information on Marcus Turnworth of Shona?
Roll a D100.
Yes, sir. 13.
He was known as a guildmaster out of a guild of coin, which was a front for the Copper Mask. He was a ruthless man who would frequently take insults and slights very poorly and would react irrationally, believing that the punishments and lessons should be misproportionate to the slight caused. He was a dangerous man. He was one of the more brutal Copper Mask guild masters that anybody has heard of, and he was assassinated at the age of 52.
Say by who, or was it not known?
It wouldn't be much of an assassination if it was known who.
This is fair, and I'm sure he had many enemies.
Yeah.
Could have even been his daughter. Who knows? Lorna idly imagines what it would be like if she just brought up her dad to Hale as like a taunt, but that probably wouldn't go over well. Not like Hale already wants her dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Good information. Good information indeed. The last thing I have written down that Lorna would like to look up is it's poor Sakharin, who's been hanging out with her this entire time, but she promised eventually she'd look into his stuff.
Okay. So what do you ask?
What she does have information on, I have to pull up my notes. I mean, I'm already looking at my notes, but a particular portion of my notes, which is... Okay, so Sakharin told her about a mountain dwarf named Beric Alistol, and she also has the name Bolton, who was Sakharin's presumably first keeper.
Okay.
So she'll ask about the name specifically Sakharin as a magic sentient weapon. She'll ask about Beric Alistol, and she'll ask about Bolson.
So firstly, about Sakharin, roll me a D100.
Okay. Once again, I spelled Sakharin way wrong. D100. 39.
Hushen does not move, and you hear in your head, there are no written records of a magic item, Sakharin.
I see. What about a soldier in the War of the Dead named Bolson?
Olsen. Is there a first name?
I'm sure Lorna had it. Let me scroll back. Hold on. Stand by.
Sure.
Matthew.
Matthew Bolson. Roll it to 100.
So glad I took notes. 64.
Yeah. Matthew Bolson was a mage in the War of the Dead. He was alive pretty early in the War of the Dead. At 5250, which is within the first quarter of the War of the Dead.
He 700 years ago.
Yeah. What you find from what Hushen gives you, he was part of the first Mage's Circle that was created to try and counter the efforts of the followers of the Star. One of their first mentalities was to use what equipment they could find and make to fight off the undead, and specifically the necromancers that were controlling them. And when Saccharin was created, which the name Saccharin is mentioned here, it was designed with the idea that undead and flame do not go well together. Bolson himself was not that powerful a mage, but he was a skilled artificer. And when he created the magic item Saccharin, it was with his brother, who had recently died, in mind. There is some thought that Bolson used a questionable manufacturing process involving his brother to make Saccharin, an intelligent item that would replenish itself, unlike any other fireball necklace anybody had ever seen.
Oh, that's sad. Is that the information she gets on Bolson?
Yes.
Okay. And then the last one is Varric Alistol.
Okay, roll another D100.
Okay. Does it say what the brother's name is before I move on?
Lowell.
Lowell?
Yes.
Lowell Bolson. Okay. 59.
One moment. Sorry. Okay. Varric Alistol. 59. This is information I'm going to have to send you in the future.
Understood.
But you do find something.
Gotcha. And finally, Lorna realizes that she has an opportunity she didn't have last time. She had Nalina Tallyhand, and she learned Palerna Listmist when she was here the first time, but now she has a couple more names.
Okay.
That she could look into. The first being Dora Nightingale. She'll say that to Hushen and try not to have any particular expression on her face, because that was the persona of Lily's that particularly dealt with Hushen, to Lorna's knowledge.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a D100.
Lots of hundies. 83.
Hushen is his red eyes are just staring into you as some scrolls appear in front of you. old vellum parchment with lists of names and information on them. Adora Nightingale, you learn, was part of the followers of the star.
Yeah.
You learn that Adora Nightingale was one of the few who were granted access by Toloi to the Mythalar. You learn that Adora Nightingale struck a deal with Hushen.
Is that written?
Yeah.
That's funny. Lorna, just the slightest quirk of her lips at that reference.
Adora Nightingale's, like, specific details about Adora Nightingale is not, like, at this point, it seems like a lot of the information that you're getting is in chunks from other people's takes, and bits of parchment and signatures and stuff like that. But as you go farther back in time, you think Adora Nightingale was probably alive longer than most of the other aliases. You find notes, an old marriage license regarding Malcolm Nightingale.
Well, there you go.
You find Adora Nightingale is accepted into the Aurelian Arcane Society. You find Adora Nightingale is banned from the Aurelian Arcane Society. You find information about Adora Nightingale being wanted for murder in regards to a Druid's Grove.
Yeah.
You find various legal reports about an Adora Nightingale nearly being caught, being found places she's not supposed to be. Based on this record, you believe, well, firstly, you know, Adora Nightingale married Malcolm Nightingale in 5282.
5280.
And you know that the deal between Hushen and Adora Nightingale was struck in 5796.
Oh my god. 500 years later? What was she doing that whole time? I guess causing trouble. Considering all the shit she got up to. You said that some of the records... Oh my god. Oh, she lived 500 years too. That is a long time for half-elf. Okay, you said that some of the information she found were people's, like, takes and perceptions of Adora. What was the vibe, generally speaking? How do people usually receive her?
Cold. Dangerous.
She was cold? Okay.
She was cold and dangerous and intimidating. She was famous for looking at people in a way as if they weren't there, or that they were there but it didn't matter, that they could be a corpse in a moment if they needed to be.
Jesus. Great reputation, Adora. Okay.
You also note that Adora Nightingale's acceptance into the followers of the star and the striking that she's allowed to access the Mythalar happened in 5791.
5791. Okay, so 5 years before her deal with Hushen. Interesting. Okay, so theoretically speaking, Lucius Toloi worked with Nalena Talahand, but he also seemed to work with Adora, so he knew that she did this thing with her body, presumably.
It's a safe assumption.
Well, and it was necromantic magic, so it's not like he'd be scandalized by that. Because he was a necromancer. Interesting. So he did. So Lucius Toloi knew at least 2 of Lily's previous personas. Interesting. Is that the bulk of the information?
Yeah, that's the bulk of what you get.
Okay. She will uh think to Hushen that she wants to know if there's any information specifically on Malcolm Nightingale. Or she also had the name Aldenar, so she'll ask for both.
Okay, so
Give me all of your information, Echo. Everything you've ever written.
roll me a D100 for Malcolm Nightingale.
Okay. 75.
There's like a pause, and then he says, I have no information about a Malcolm Nightingale beyond a marriage license, which you are
I
holding.
see. So, is there any on Malcolm Aldenar?
Roll another D100.
20.
This time you get vellum sheets that are inscribed in calligraphic charcoal ink, marking from the Verdant Grove, talking about one of their most promising druids in periods of time when followers of nature and Lilas herself and Mother Anth were thought to be few and far between. Malcolm Aldenar, named as such for his mother, Delilah Aldenar. It's thought that he was a prodigy, able to turn into creatures at a moment's notice faster and at earlier ages than any other druid of his time. One of the reasons he was so reputed to be powerful was thought that he was born during Lilas's dawn, which is a holiday of the longest day of the year. Additionally, one of his favorite forms and the name that he took upon himself was a nightingale.
I see. Does it say anything about his enslavement?
No.
Yeah, fair enough.
Drow slave records do not seem to make it into the Arcanium.
Interesting. So, the last thing me Pen as Lorna can think of to research is Bellador Lefray.
Okay.
Which is, she will try to not make a face of amusement when she asks Hushen.
I did just mention,
Mm-hmm.
Drow records do not seem to make it into the Arcanium, and
So is there nothing?
Like, I'm not even going to ask you to roll.
Okay.
He says, I have no records of Bellador Lefray.
Well, it was worth asking. Thank you.
You are welcome.
She will look at Nora and Skolna once again after she shuts the book on Malcolm, or the records on Malcolm, rather. And she'll say to both of them, all right, I've taken quite some time for my own research. Is there anything I should look up, or maybe you want help with? She asks leadingly.
Nora, sets the pen down that she was writing music with and looks up at you. What sorts of summoning rituals might one use to call a Balgora or a pit fiend?
How do you spell Balgora or pit? I know how to spell 15.
Barl. Okay, so it's
Barlgura.
Barlgura.
Barl L G.
Yeah, good luck.
Balra.
It's a stupid monkey demon.
She'll look to Hushen and repeat the question.
This is a much simpler search, so please roll me a D100.
Okay. 92.
You are provided with a stack of like 11 tomes.
Oh my god.
Conjuration magic, the summonings from the abyss, fiendish protocol, and the sort of deals you make with demons. Like, it's just one after the other after the other. And as you begin to sift through these, I'm going to need an investigation check because you have so much shit to look through.
Oh no. All right, okay. Investigation 19.
Okay, what you learn about Barlgura and Pit Fiends is that they are both dangerous demons. They're powerful, and they require a lot of strength to control. So, to summon one requires either a powerful spellcaster or a warlock with a powerful patron to assist them in controlling it. A Pit Fiend or a Barlgura do not like being summoned. When they are pulled into the Primaterial Plane, they are almost instantly hit with a wave of madness. The only thing that controls them is the sanity and magic the summoner can provide. If the summoner is too weak, the demon will break free of their bindings and almost inevitably kill the summoner, and then they are free to roam about on the Primaterial Plane, killing anybody else they want to, until they are either destroyed or banished. The longer a demon is in the Primaterial Plane, they will reach a point of lucidity until they then again descend into madness. So it's like a bell curve of they know what they're doing, and maybe they're having fun, maybe they're being monstrous, maybe they strike up deals, and then inevitably, unless they find a way back to the abyss or they find a spellcaster to assist them in maintaining their sanity, they go insane again. These things can manifest over a period of time as short as a few hours to as long as months. It depends on the mental fortitude of the demon.
Lorna briefly recalls Lily talking about Atlantis meeting Remus because a friend of Remus's summoned something that killed him. Does that sound similar?
Yes. This sounds just like that.
He probably couldn't keep control of the creature he summoned, and it took him down. Ugh. She'll relay all of the information she gets.
Nori nods and listens, and then she says, "Do these rituals require a certain substance, a certain mineral? Because there's been a lot of strange trade going on north of my home."
Lorna will look into it.
Roll me a D100. Well, actually, no. Just roll me an investigation. You already have the tomes in front of you.
Okay. 25.
Yes. The most common source, the most common resource and material a summoner needs to summon a demon and control it is blood from a human who was killed within the last 24 hours.
You will relay that information to Nori.
Nori's, fists clench, and she just nods and continues looking down at the table.
Insight? I mean, obviously she's not feeling great, but is there anything particular I can glean from her reaction?
She's pissed.
Yeah.
She looks angry. She looks like she just got some news that she didn't like.
Does she seem to want to ask any more questions, or is she
doesn't,
quote, satisfied?
She doesn't ask anything
Lorna
else.
will not push it. She'll look to Skolna. Another eyebrow raise.
Vampires. How to kill them.
Gotcha. She'll ask Kushan.
Okay. Roll a D100.
Give me all your information.
Yeah, I guess.
17.
You are provided 2 tomes.
Mm-hmm.
One of them hurts your eyes to look at.
Why?
As you look at it and you try and read the cover, you can't.
Like it's warded against perception?
Yes. The other one is a book about creatures of blood and secrets about them.
Is this the book that Velen has?
Yes.
That's funny. Crossover. I don't think I have any spell to decipher. Damn it, that sucks. She'll actually show the tome, the blurry one, to Nore and Skolna and say, "Can you make this out?"
Both of them shake their heads.
Not even a title.
You can try and Nore will try.
I'll try. What roll?
This is going to be an investigation.
Okay. Terrible. Fuck. That's an 11.
With an 11, as you try and, like, force understand what the cover of this book says, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great. Plus 6. Oh no. 8? Lorna gets a nosebleed. Oh god, I don't like
You
the sound of
take 14 points of psychic damage
that. Ugh.
as you just feel like blood running down your ears and your head hurts. Nore is looking at it and she's like squinting her eyes and she says, Book of Nod?
Oh shit. Living eyes aren't supposed to look at this.
I think
well,
it says Book of Nod, but it hurts to look at.
Lorna like is wiping the blood from her face and says,
Oh
"Great."
shit! And Nore will cast Cure Wounds on you.
Thanks.
Hold on.
Okay, Lorna doesn't.
You heal for 12.
Thank you. That was good. Pan knows that living creatures shouldn't look at the Book of Nod. Does Lorna know anything about this?
No.
Okay. So I won't
You've never...
I won't push it further.
Lorna has never looked into vampires.
It's true. Well, can she ask Skolna, who has a history with vampires and is from Malachor?
I'll roll Skolna a unskilled history check on this. Because she's not researched it. Of course. Skolna looks over and she says, You can't read it because you're not dead.
Not dead, huh? She will look at Snakewium on her waist. Hey, buddy.
Yes.
Do you know how to read? You know how to read.
Yes.
Can you read this? She'll pull him up off her waist and put him plop, coiled snake on the table.
You hear in your mind, yes.
Amazing.
The Book of Nod, a grimoire by Nyx. The rules and laws of vampires.
Does Lorna know who Nyx is?
Roll a religion check.
11.
No.
I don't know why I rolled twice. Does the Requiem?
No.
Okay. She'll relay that back to both of them.
Nore would just go, That's the goddess of vampires.
Well, that makes sense. It's a book about vampires.
So you found their Bible.
I guess so. That will probably be useful, right? She'll look at Skolna. I can't imagine a better
Skolna
place to
shrugs.
find- She'll open the book. She'll like be very careful not to look at it directly, but she'll open the book. And ask Requiem. do some research.
Okay. I need you to roll an
Requiem.
investigation at disadvantage. Because you're doing it through
I
Requiem.
can't look at it, yeah. That's so funny. Investigation, disadvantage. Come on, roll good. Oh, one of those was a natural 20. The other is a 16, though.
A 16. It takes a while. Like,
He's a snake.
he's literally like reading it aloud in your head. And he keeps getting like, he keeps saying, "This is a lot of words.
I know, buddy. Please push through. I'll get you so much gravy."
The gist is you learn there are a number of things vampires or kindred fear. They cannot consume mortal food without preparing themselves. If they spend time in true daylight underneath Pyrrhus and Tyrrhus, they will burn. And they can resist this for a period of time, and how long depends on the hardiness of the vampire. In all cases, should a vampire's head be removed, they perish instantly. Otherwise, if a vampire suffers a significant amount of harm, they will fall into a state of torpor, where their body basically locks up to preserve themselves and not expend any more of the blood that they've lost. While they are in torpor, they are vulnerable, but resistant to all damage. So they cannot defend themselves, but they are hardy. The most common form of destroying a vampire in history has been with fire. If a vampire is lit aflame while they are in torpor, they burn to ash.
Okay.
If they are already on fire when they fall into torpor, they also burn to ash. If a vampire suffers the energy of the holies, aka radiant damage, if they do not manage to resist it, they are vulnerable to it. Which means, basically, if a vampire fails a con save, they take double damage from radiant damage. That's basically what you get as far as how, like, the things vulnerable that vampires are weak to.
Does she learn anything new about vampire? Like, she's never, she said research vampires. Is there any specifics about them, like, in preparation for if they had to fight one, say, like the one that Skolma wants to fucking kill?
You would learn that vampires can hide their true nature. You would learn that vampires can be profoundly powerful in whatever asset that Nyx decided to bestow upon them. This can include strength, speed, hardiness, magics, charming, or allure. They can also sometimes possess powers that allow them to take the form of and massively control animals of the wild. They can be devastatingly powerful depending on how old they are. The older a vampire gets, the more dangerous they are, and they get more and more access to the powers of old, as the book calls it. Basically, you want to know what kind of vampire you're facing before you try.
Right. So you can prepare yourself against what they might specifically be capable of. Noting that, well, what does the second book, the second tome that appeared? Did we cover that already?
No. But you get less of, but the same information.
Right, because it's not the actual Bible itself.
Yeah.
Okay. She'll relay all that she's learned to Skolna.
Skolna's just nodding. Good.
She'll look up to Hushen and finally say, "Do you have any information on a vampire named Carcerix?" She'll say it in her head. She won't say it out loud.
Roll a D100.
84.
Yeah. 3 tombs are set in front of you. You learn Carcerix is a powerful noble whose full name is Carcerix Manigdala. He runs a barony in Malachor. He has an extended family of kindred that he has sired, but he is well known in the town for bending the rules. It is questionable whether or not he truly had the consent of every individual that he drank from. He is a dangerous individual who's known to use charming magic to control people. It is said that he has been known to sway entire audiences to his way of thinking with a single sentence.
Okay. So does that give Lorna any idea what kind of asset he's been blessed with?
Probably an enchantment, probably charming. Likely a charisma vampire.
Okay. Is that the information she gleans across all 3 tomes?
Yes. I am summarizing.
Okay. She would write these notes down and without saying anything pass them to Skulna.
Skulna
And
pockets
she'll
it.
write it in Infernal. Because that's a language they both share.
Skulna pockets it and nods. She doesn't look at it yet.
Yeah. Okay. She'll look at Portier, Anscombe, and Lilith. Are they still researching? Do they look like they finished?
Lilith, they're playing
quite
cards.
A bit to look over. Yeah. She'll look at them and say, "Are you guys done? Looks like it."
Yeah.
Sorry, I
was done 4 hours ago.
I had a lot of questions. Oh my god, I have like 3 pages of notes. Anything promising? She'll look at all 3 of them.
Anscombe, kind of grits his teeth and he says, "Well, I know what I came to find out."
That's promising.
Yeah. Tier says, "Turns out the Velisco, the god of disease and such, is a real blighter. And he can go fuck
Really?
himself." Right, yeah. Aye.
Well, we definitely knew he was a piece of shit when we expunged his cult in Shortwatch's area.
Oh, aye. I feel much better about that now. I mean, I didn't feel bad about it in the first place, but fuck that guy.
And she'll look at Lilith.
Yeah. It's gonna be a hell of a snake we're trying to cut the head off of.
I learned a little bit unintentionally about what you were looking into, so I hope you'll be able to fill me in.
Yeah. But I think we've taken up enough of this guy's time.
Yep. She'll look at Batushan, passing off the books that she's been holding. Thank you very much.
You have spent 6 hours here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you finished?
I think so.
Hushen turns, and the fox's form vanishes.
She'll give her team the thumbs up. That went well.
I guess we're still alive.
Let's leave. Yeah, let's leave. We still can.
Good call. And as you make your way out of the Arcanium, it is kind of early in the evening. You've spent basically the most of the day in the Arcanium. You're hungry, and your crew is tired from having been in there. As you step out of the Arcanium, you look around, and you see an individual who's wearing he's got a black coat, but he has a brown bag. He looks up as you exit the Arcanium, and he says, hello.
Hello?
Would you happen to be, he looks down at the part, like the bag, and he looks at his hand. He says, Lorna Haluth? Haluth.
Me. Yep. Vibe check.
Roll an insight check.
Does he look shifty? Is he handing me a bomb? Insight is a 16. Can I pinpoint his accent?
It's Tridonian. You're not exactly
That's what I
sure
thought.
from where. Probably southern Tridon. Okay.
I was getting Candinos. Is that accurate?
The things that you know are not exactly what your characters know. But yeah,
That's true.
it's Candinosian accent. As you you look over at this guy, and he's like, you've stepped out of the Arcanium, you've stepped down off the steps, and you're in like the plaza in Augur City. And as you look around and get a vibe check of this guy, he's not like, I mean, he's not like dressed like a delivery man, but he has like a delivery bag. And he seems fairly confused, or at least like he's hoping he has the right person as he's like shuffling through the bag. But with that insight, there is something you notice. You don't see any guards. You don't see any guards, and you notice a few individuals around the crowd are looking a little too close. They're paying close attention to what's happening.
Give me 1 second.
Okay?
Let me just read the spell.
Okay.
Up to 8 hours. Can Lorna try to... She's gonna first make eye contact with Skulna. Just like a flicker of eye contact. Does she seem to know that something's up to?
Skulna's on guard.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Skulna's been tipped to anything, but she looks careful.
Can she... Lorna is going to... Verbal... and material... She wants to cast suggestion on this guy.
Oh.
Can she try to do that subtly?
No.
Yeah, alright, she's gonna cast suggestion on him.
Okay, what does this look like?
She just says, yes, that's me. I'm Lorna. But she doesn't approach him, and she just says, how about we talk frankly? And she'll cast suggestion.
To talk frankly?
Yes.
Okay, it's a wisdom save.
Yes, it is. DC 17.
You see his eyes like cloud over for a moment, and he kind of shakes his head. And as he stands up, his hand still on the parcel, he just kind of smirks and he says, well, it was my intention anyway, but kind of you to try to push things. And he lets the satchel fall away, and he's holding out a hand crossbow pointed at you. And, well...
Oh, man! At least it wasn't a surprise attack.
It was not... He does not get a surprise round on you. But I do require you to roll initiative.
He's kind of cute.
Well...
Oh, natural 20! Good job, Lorna! I'm not gonna go last. Anscom is, though. Jesus. He was really not prepared for this. I was like, what?
Yeah, unfortunately. But Link Street is the wrong music for this.
Damn, sick of those small flopper to shoot me anyways.
He succeeded. He rolled a 19. Okay.
The rudeness of this man.
Lilith is first off the gun. As soon as she sees the hand crossbow, you hear from behind you, she shouts, "No, you don't!" And she is going to... That's a good question. What does Lilith do? All right. She darts forward around you and Anscombe and just gets immediately into melee with this guy. Her rapier and short sword in hand, she's getting into melee right off the bat. And as she darts forward, "You must be Lilith!" Good.
Oh, great.
Lilith misses her first attack, but succeeds on her second. She deals 9 points of slashing damage. She will then use... She's going to use evasive footwork.
Sick.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. So let me roll that. Okay, her AC is bananas. All right.
Good,
It's
she rolled well.
It's like a 25 right now. It's now this guy's turn. He steps back from Lilith, and he still has the hand crossbow pointed at you. He draws another hand crossbow and points it at Lilith, and he's going to make 2 attacks.
Rude.
He hits. I need Lilith to make a con save.
Oh, poison.
Lilith succeeds because she has a lot of con, but she still is going to take some damage. Okay. 15 points of damage total. Oof. And then the other bolt is going to you.
Mm-hmm.
That is a...
I do have mage armor.
Okay, does a 14 hit you?
Yes. That is it. That's my experience.
Do you at least have shield?
I don't think I ever prepared. Don't at me.
You do have it prepared.
What?
I'm looking at your Foundry page. You have it prepared.
I don't think it's updated.
Okay.
It's not in my D&D Beyond.
Okay. Well, if you don't have it prepared, you can't cast it, so it hits
Yep.
you. I need you to make a con save.
Okay. That's a +3. 16?
You succeed. You
Hooray!
take a total of 16 points of damage.
Ow. I'm so glad Nora healed me. What are we already? Oh, god damn, that's like all of my health.
Yep. This thug from across the alley is going to surge forward. And he gets into melee with you and Nore. He's going to make an attack on you. That's a natural one. So,
Hooray!
never mind. The next one is going to surge up into melee here. He's going to make an attack. Daggers out. He misses. Okay. Lorna, you're up.
Cool. Lorna is going to, she's going to do that thing where she punches her flesh hand into the palm of her golem hand, and she's going to cast Guise of the Golem.
Okay, so you suit up into your porcelain form.
Mm-hmm. Porcelain Lord, and I get 15 temporary points. Bless the Lord.
Okay, make a note.
That it gives. I did, and she is going to. There is a guy right in front of her.
Yes, he's in melee with you. There's 2 guys in melee with you actually.
Okay, she is going to. Is there any way she can maneuver to get advantage on one of them without leaving range?
Not. You would leave one of their threats.
Not worth it then. So she is going to just deck the guy in front of her.
The delivery man or the thug?
The delivery man, because he seems to be the fucking leader of this shit.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, let me double check my to hit. You may use your intelligence modifier instead of strength or dexterity for your attack rolls. So it is proficiency +5, so that's +8.
It's like a spell attack.
Yeah.
Except
Mine's
without the crazy
+9.
bonus. So 5
I
plus
don't- I
3
think
is
it's
plus 8.
right. And my spells are +9 because of my book. Does this affect?
No.
Does my book affect this? Okay. I will do
This
it
is not a spell. You are punching.
magically. 16?
16 hits.
Yes. It's a D4 +5 because it uses my intelligence instead. Terrible. 6. And I think I can punch him twice. Yes, if I use my action, I can use my bonus action for the same thing. So I will punch him again in the face. Natural 19 for 27 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And I do another 6 points, so just two punches to the face.
Okay.
And can I sick Requiem on him?
Yes. Requiem, Belt Requiem turns into not Belt Requiem. And he appears right here.
I can roll his ghostly bite.
Go ahead.
Attack. Normal. Natural 20 for wreck.
Okay.
A woo. Damage, critical hit. 25. Yeah, good boy.
Jesus Christ, yeah. It's a hell of a
Just
crit.
bites his calf. Takes a huge chunk out of it.
So it's a ghostly bite. So you watch as these ghostly teeth like sink into the man's hip, and you watch as the leather armor he's wearing and the trousers suddenly necrofy and just fall away in pieces, and he just like it's not a bite, it's like the flesh dies where the teeth go through.
And Lorna says at the end of her turn, I hope you know what you signed up for.
That's
your turn.
That's your turn, okay.
Yep.
This thug steps back, sees you in this golem form. I think we need to focus. And then he's going to fire at you with a bow, with a crossbow. Okay, that is a 19 to hit.
Yeah. Jetpack shield.
That's 9 points of piercing damage, Lorna.
Yep.
It's now Skolna's turn. Skolna whips around. She sees this thug is all alone. She darts up to him. And as she does, she finds the dimly lit little doorway next to him, which she hides as a bonus action. And then emerges to stab him, which she gets advantage on because he lost sight of her as she literally went invisible. Okay. She hits very hard. Okay, this guy takes... He dies. It's now this thug's turn. Okay. What is this thug gonna do? That's a good question. Right.
Gonna run away because I look so cool, right?
He runs over here behind Norre, getting flanking.
No.
Advantage. That hits. Norre takes 12 points of piercing damage. This one is no longer part. And Norre's turn. Norre, like, pissed that she just got hacked, and realizing she has people on opposite sides of her. See what she's going to do. She's going to make 2 attacks. One of them is going to be a mobile flourish, or a slashing flourish. That hits with a 23. So Norre brings up her rapier and slashes across the one who's in front of her, doing 16 points of slashing damage. And then she whips around and thrusts the rapier at the one behind her. This one she cannot do the flourish. And she misses.
Damn.
Tier's turn. Tier, like, is looking around. He says, well, this is all happening fast. All right. He just pulls out his 2 blades. And he's going to whip around behind the one behind Nore. And he's going to slash with the scimitar. Which
nice
is a
little
+1.
flanking train.
Yep. That hits. 10 points of slashing damage. And then he will swing with his short sword in the offhand. Still at advantage. That hits. 8 points of slashing damage. That guy's suddenly looking horrible. It's now this thug's turn. This thug is going to back up and try and help take down Nore, who's suddenly very dangerous.
He's always been dangerous.
He misses. It's now Anscombe's turn. The Dragonbone longsword out in his hand, and he just steps to this one, opposite Lilith. All right. Enough of this waste of our time. Natural 20.
Yeah.
Jesus
I love that,
Christ. Man. Okay. He crits immediately. Hold on. Let me look at the damage dice for this thing. It's a d6. All right. So 10 plus this. 20 plus 6
Lorna
plus
fans
this.
herself.
20. He just kills this guy. He says, enough of this waste of time, and then slashes and kills him. He brandishes the longsword in a flourish, and then moves up to this one and makes his second attack. Okay, he hits. It is not a crit. The guy might live.
Might.
5, 10. He lives. Alright. Lilith's turn. Lilith is in melee with the leader. She will whip around, getting flanking with you. As you say, a flanking train. That attack misses. Second attack hits. Lilith deals 12 points of slashing damage.
Noise.
It's his turn. He looks at you, Lorna. He just shakes his head, and he's going to... he levels both crossbows at you, and he's making 2 attacks on you.
He doesn't look like he has a disadvantage, does he?
He does not.
No. Crossbow expert. What?
Natural 20.
No!
I need a con save.
This is not good. 21.
You succeed.
I rolled it as Requiem on accident, but
That's okay. You do take a big old pile of damage, though. That's 12 plus 3 is 15 plus...
I tried to sound cool.
That was maybe a mistake. 19 plus...
Oh no.
12...
What?
31 points of damage.
Oh, 31?
Yes.
Oh, that temporary hit point saved my fucking life. I have 4 hit points. She's got a lot of cracks, but they fill in instantly as they're formed with that gold.
He, so this crossbow bolt, sinks straight into your forehead. And the guys of the golem manage to protect you, but it's like you're full of all these cracks, and he just kind of tilts his head and he says, "That looks weird." And then he just shoots the second crossbow bolt.
Oh wait, no. He has 2 attacks?
Yes.
No.
That's an 11 to hit.
That means... Oh, he just bats it away, but... Oh, this is getting dangerous.
This thug in front of you, he's gonna swing at you.
Oh, wacko. Stop it.
I rolled a natural 3. He misses. It's your turn.
Lorna is going to action disengage
That's wise.
and fly up 30 feet. I
Okay.
know he can still hit. Like, Mr. Crossbow Man can still hit me, but... Yeah. And, so I action disengaged. Bonus action, what can I do? Give me a second.
Bonus action, drink a potion.
Bonus action, I do have 2 of those. I am definitely going to bonus action drink a potion.
Okay.
I have to roll for that.
Roll 2d4 plus 2. Okay, you heal for 7.
Better than fucking nothing. Okay, and Requiem is going to take my spot, so he has flanking with Lilith. And he is going to chomp on his leg again.
Alright, roll the attack as Requiem.
Attack, advantage. 23 to hit.
That hits.
Damage, normal. Oh, what a good boy. 13. Oh.
Okay, the leader dies. Requiem takes him out.
Basically, he shoots me right in the face. Says, that looks weird. And Lorna flies up, and basically, as she lifts away, Requiem just chomps on him and bites his neck.
As he falls, you hear your mind, Requiem, say, I got him!
Oh, good boy.
He tastes like salt. Okay. That's your turn, I believe.
Yes. Does that count as Lorna bringing him to 0 hit points?
Yes. It's your
Okay, then I
familiar.
get six temporary hit points because of Dark One's blessing.
Okay, this thug in front of Anscombe looks up at you, who's flying, and he's going to throw his dagger at you because you're the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 15 to hit you.
It doesn't hit. Bless you guys are the golem.
Okay. It's Skolna's turn. Skolna darts across to the one who just threw a dagger, and she's going to stab him. She hits. This will be short. Yeah, this guy, he dies. He had 6 hit points. It's now this thug's turn. The thug between Norre and Tier. He's going to try and... What's he going to try to do? He's going to try and attack Tier, who just fucking nailed him. He misses. Man, my dice. All right, Norre's turn. Norre does 2 attacks again. She hits both attacks. This guy who had 5 hit points is dead. This guy who had 3 hit points is dead.
So hot.
Tier whips around to the last thug. And he just kind of looks at him and says, "Are you sure?" The thug is like lining up a shot on you in the air, and Tier says, "Won't you?" And he's going to run up and make 2 attacks. Natural 20 and a natural 20. He crit both attacks.
Saved me, my hero.
He's dead as shit. Like, I don't even have to roll damage. As quickly as the combat began, it is over. However, as soon as the combat is over and there's this chatter of blades and people falling, you hear guards running. Tier says, I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't want to be questioned. Let's fucking go.
Lorna will land, and the guys of the golem drops, and when it does, all of the cracks that were filled in with gold turn into, like, wounds that bleed.
Oh, shit.
She's not... Yeah, that hurt!
Come here. And Tier will heal you. And as he's, like, pulling you along, and he's like, we need to go. And Anscombe's like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Tier.
She looks, like, at the body of the courier, the faux courier. And she's like, I really want to look him over, but she doesn't think she has time, and she just looks longingly at him before she allows herself to get yanked away.
Okay. Tier heals you for 8.
Thanks.
It's something. But
Yeah.
you make haste to get away from the scene of a combat. Roll me a straight dexterity roll. You you need to beat a 2.
Oh,
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 5.
You did it. Apparently, the guards get really hung up on the crowd. You get long and far away. And as you do, you get back into Augur City proper, away from the Arcanium. And that is where we will stop tonight's session.
So I think the master knows we're in Augur City.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. As we come to the end
Well,
of the
she better
session...
believe that I'm gonna look into her shit when I get to Shona.
Thank you for playing with me tonight. I hope you had a good time. And to those of you who are at home or at work listening or watching, hi Penn, hi class, hi Emily, hi everybody.
Pen and Emily and class and everyone.
We love you all, and I wish you a good night.